Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Successful leadership requires 6 critical resources that we'll jump into right now. Now, leadership is like a chess match. For each decision you make, it influences your next 5 decisions. Unfortunately, many leaders don't realize the implications of each of their decisions. It's like an entrepreneur who battles long and hard to reach the desired goal and stops 90% of the way, not knowing they only had 10% more to go to get there. See, when you don't know what it takes to cross the finish line, it makes it a bit more difficult to know the critical resources you might need in order to win the race. Successful leadership is a byproduct of those resources that you're able to acquire throughout the course of your career. Resources that are not given to you, but are earned as a result of hard work and sacrifice and respect from your peers and your career coaches, and failures that have taught you lessons along the way. Successful leaders are extremely aware of how to detect, enable, and maximize their most critical resources, and they know exactly how and when to use them. Now, for example, I've had to make several difficult decisions throughout my leadership career, and my experience has taught me to detect the patterns that have influenced the situations at hand and then correct my course of action. Now, more often than not, I've been able to make the right decisions. However, there have been times that I get stuck and I find the need to reach out to a mentor or my sphere of influence. Okay? Now, when I do so, I'm prepared to thoroughly explain the situation, the associated tension points, inherent risks, along with financial implications, and then finally my desired outcomes. Now, I never take my resources for granted, and I always do my very best to value my advisor's time. Now, as such, when requesting assistance, I will express the full scope of the situation as I see it or as I understand it. And that makes it easier for my advisors to immediately respond and provide their feedback and or recommendations. I don't want to risk losing a resource I've worked so hard for simply by wasting the time. Every resource that you have in your leadership portfolio is a responsibility and must be managed wisely if you choose to use it more than one time. As a leader, raw talent will only get you so far. So to help you become a more successful leader, here are the 6 most critical resources you will need to earn and foster throughout your career. The first one is the trust of advisors. Now, this resource goes beyond the mentors. These are advisors that have earned the right to know you both personally and professionally. Trusted relationships with people that will share their wisdom with you without keeping track of how many times they helped you. Your advisors are people that understand your business and are keenly aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. They've watched you along your career path, and they've witnessed you as a leader, and as well as all your vulnerabilities. They're the ones that stick with you through your failures, and they always have your back. Now, because no one's keeping score, don't give your advisors any reason to change their mind about you. Be extremely respectful of their time and be mindful to reciprocate. In other words, by sharing your momentum and success as you think it may be of benefit to them. Now, the second one is the knowledge from failure. This is a really, really good one. Failure is the most powerful experience you could ever lean on. If you haven't failed enough, you can never earn the knowledge from this invaluable resource. Failure is one of the most powerful resources, one of the most powerful sources for know-how and understanding, because it teaches you about survival, renewal, and reinvention of yourself or the organization that you're leading. Failure ultimately shapes you as a leader, and without it, you lack the mental toughness to navigate through difficult times. Now, my failure has enabled me in my success. I'm now able to anticipate the unexpected and manage the risks. Change management should become your new best friend as you learn to practice patience and become a more effective listener. Now, my failures have taught me the real definition of significance. I've learned that respect is much more important than recognition. That, in the end, is all about the legacy you leave behind that benefits the others. Now, the third critical resource, the diversity of thought from the team, from your team. You don't have to have all the answers, guys. And if you think you do, you will frequently make bad decisions. As such, you must build a team that's made to last. Earn their respect by being transparent to share difficult issues with them, and you'll enable a crowdsourcing environment of problem solvers. Diversity of thought is an inherent dynamic that exists within great teams. Now, know how to find it, and you can pull great things from this powerful resource. Now, take the time to identify the diversity that lies within your team or teams and learn how to put it to good use. As a leader, this requires patience and careful listening and observation. Earn the right to leverage the value and intelligence of your team, and you will soon find good fortune on your side. Now, the fourth critical resource, the fresh perspectives from think tanks. Look, broaden your observations and learn about new and different ideas and best practices that will make you a smarter and wiser leader. When you earn your way into a think tank or any organized networking group, a group of leaders representing a multitude of industries, you can't help but be exposed to fresh perspectives, ideas, and ideals. Being a part of an environment like this is fueled with knowledge, and you can encounter some of the brightest minds and most successful people in the world. Sharing ideas and learning from others across industries in an open and safe environment. The ultimate goal is to make the world a better place by advancing community and commerce. You'll leave every event with a different experience and a plethora of fresh perspectives. All right? The fifth critical resource, the wisdom inherent in unwritten rules. I had a hard time saying that. Successful leaders earn the right to know the unwritten rules that exist within the organization that they serve. Many times, understanding these unwritten rules is the difference between success and failure. Those who are unaware of these rules have not been invited into the circle of trust and thus are at risk of falling into the trap of stifled advancement and opportunity. The culture of your organization is fueled with unwritten rules. Those things you should or should not do or say if you want to get noticed, discovered, or taken seriously by senior management. One example is of a client who once preferred that men wear white French cuffed shirts with dark blue or black suits. Those that followed the unwritten rules or the unwritten dress code were more apt to fit the culture or the corporate culture and uphold the identity of the organization sought from its leaders. Now, the sixth and final critical resource needed for successful leadership is the sound judgment from your instincts, your gut. Successful leadership comes from sound judgment, and that often comes from your own instincts. Your instincts can be your most powerful resource once you trust yourself enough to go with your gut. I've said that the most powerful or the most successful leaders do 15 things automatically every day. This is the result of learned behavior and sound judgment that becomes unconscious and automatic over time. Now, instincts are a byproduct of your experiences, and they are strengthened throughout your leadership journey. As such, your ability to trust yourself is a learned skill. It requires a deep understanding and acceptance of who you are and what you represent. It allows you to enable sound judgment from your instincts at the right time and the right place. Leadership success ultimately boils down to the sustainable impact and influence that you create. These 6 resources will enable your best, and in turn, you will be able to enable the best in others. As the collective efforts of individual strengths are unleashed in ways that come most naturally, right? You will increase your ability to effectively and efficiently see and seize opportunities for the betterment of the organization. All right? That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch these videos to strengthen and sharpen your leadership skills to make you the leader that people want to follow. It's very important that you strengthen your skills and to make you sharp in every aspect of leadership. You want to be effective in what you do and how you do it. And I believe these videos are the pathway to your success in leadership. And as always, if you feel like these videos are helping you guys, because I'm a firm believer, as always, in iron sharpening iron. So if it's helping you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Share these videos with other people in your sphere of influence. Because again, if it's helping you, I'm pretty sure they can help someone else. And as always, if you need help with your leadership development or some team building or diversity training, please do not hesitate to contact me. Drop me a line below in the YouTube channel. My credentials should have shown up on the screen earlier. Shoot me an email, call me. Let's sit down and put a plan together, tailor-made for you, for your success. All right? Thanks again. And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?